All right, hey Rams, it's Miss Moreau. Today we are going to be learning about how to compare the features and costs of a checking account and a debit card offered by different financial institutions. Financial institutions, that just means banks. Okay, so we have four different people here, and you have this on your paper, okay? I'm going to read you, though, some of these things about each person, and we have four different banks here. Okay, this one here, First City Bank, has free checks. That's great. It's $5 a month for a checking fee. That just means they charge you $5 a month to have a checking account. They charge you 25 cents per debit card transaction. Okay, Hometown Bank charges 50 cents a check. If you use their bank ATM, that means if you use their ATM, the Hometown Bank one, it's free. It doesn't charge you anything. But if you use a non-bank ATM, that means if you go to like a Bank of America ATM, it's going to charge you $2 per transaction. And then a 25-cent debit card transaction for your purchases. Transnational Bank has a $5 a month checking fee. You're only allowed to make two deposits a month. And it's a 25 cent per debit card transaction. And then Richland Hills Bank, you have to have a minimum balance of $75, or there's a fee of $5 per day that the balance is lower than $75. There are no debit card fees as long as you have a savings account. And it costs $20 for each box of 100 checks. So your benefits and fees are a little different for each one. So we're going to look through each person and see what is the best bank for that person. Okay? All right. First one says Ramona is a college student. Her parents deposit $50 per week into her account. She never writes checks. That means it doesn't matter how much the checks cost because we don't use them. But she does use the ATM frequently, although it's often not at her own bank. She has been saving for a new car in her savings account. So a couple of important things here. We would not want to have, if she goes to an ATM frequently, we would not want to go to the one that charges you money. So Hometown Bank is not going to be a good bank for her. But Richland Hills Bank is a great bank for her because as her parents are putting money in there. She has a savings account because she's saving for a car, so she doesn't have to worry about the fees. And then we don't care how much the checks cost because she doesn't use them. So Ramona should bank at the Richland Hills Bank. Okay, Josefina owns a business, and she has 30 employees that she pays weekly with a check. Okay, that means that she's buying a lot of checks, right? That's 30 a week, and then about 4 weeks in a month, that's about 120 checks a month. So we need something that's going to have really cheap checks. She sometimes uses her debit card, but not very frequently, and she makes a deposit every 3 days. So Transnational Bank does not work because you can only make 2 deposits a month here. The bank for her would be for First City Bank because the checks are free, and she'll pay $5 a month for a checking fee, but that's not bad because she's not being charged for a debit card or anything else. She doesn't use it very often. So there we go. All right, Anton runs a dry cleaning business. He deposits business money into his account on the 1st and 15th of each month. That's twice a month. That should be a clue. He writes about 8 checks a week for supplies for his business, but rarely uses his debit card. All right, so let's think about the last 2 we have here. Which one do you think is best for Anton? Well, he makes 2 deposits a month. Well, look at that. That looks pretty good here. He writes a lot of checks. So 8 checks a week, that's 32 checks a month. If you went with Hometown Bank, 32 checks, and they're 50 cents a check, that's going to be at least $16 a month in just checks. That's not where you want to go. So Anton should use Transnational Bank. All right, Nicholas is the father of 3. He works at an auto repair shop. He prefers to pay cash for all of his purchases. So he visits the ATM, the bank ATM by his house frequently to withdraw cash. That means it's his bank, right? He pays his bills online, so he does not even write checks. So Hometown Bank is a great bank for Nicholas because he uses his bank ATM. He does not write checks, so it doesn't matter if they cost 50 cents a check. And he pays cash, so the debit card fees, it doesn't matter for him. Now, these are made-up people and made-up banks, but why do you think it's important to understand the features and costs of a bank? Okay, everyone's needs are different. Some people use their ATM card. Some people prefer cash. Some people write a lot of checks. You need to be able to understand the benefits of a bank so that you can make the best choice that's going to save you money. If you're working hard to earn your money, you don't want to waste it all on the bank. Okay? Now we're going to practice this. These are the way other test questions are written for you. Okay? Caleb is choosing a bank from these two banks below. In an average month, he writes 12 checks. He uses his debit card 10 times and the ATM 6 times. So the question says, how much would he spend on monthly bank fees at the state bank? So we're going to say, okay, 12 checks. You know what? They're free. That's state bank right here. All right, debit card. He uses it 10 times. So your debit card fee is $3 a month. Now, it's not per transaction. It's just a total of $3. So it's not 3 times 10 there. And then your ATM, he uses it 6 times a month. And each time you use it, it is 75 cents. So 6 times 75 cents is $4.50. So these are your total fees. And you add it up for the entire month. $4.50 plus $3 is going to be $7.50 for your fees here at State Bank. All right, next. Lisa is choosing a bank from the two banks below. She writes 5 checks. Okay. Her checks here are 15 cents each. So 15 cents times 5. And I'm only looking at this right here because it's cross bank. Okay. 15 cents times 5 is 75 cents a month on checks. She uses the ATM twice a month. Her ATM is free. That's good. And she uses her debit card about 20 times. Your debit card fee is $2.50 a month. Now, that's not per transaction. That's just a total. So that's 75 cents plus the $2.50 for the debit card then is $3.25 a month. That's all that Lisa has to pay in fees at her bank. All right, so next, summary. I want you to tell me what benefits of a bank would be useful for you. Now, I know you don't actually have a bank yet. You're not earning money. But if you were thinking about your lifestyle, are you the kind of person who would carry cash or would use a debit card? Would you be going to the bank frequently? Think about how you see yourself spending money and what type of a bank would you need. Have a great day, Rams.